Hi everybody, welcome back. It's Tamitou here. So today's build is going to be this really beautiful Tudor house, and I was kind of building this in my own time. I just wanted to break from my Havana builds that I was doing. So I turned off my camera and everything, and I was just having my own relaxing build. And then I got to that point that you saw at the beginning, and I was like, this is nice. I need to film this. So that's why you don't see me building the walls, but from here you get to see the process, and I finished the whole ground floor for you, and then the rest of the rooms are in the screenshot. So there's a lot in this house. It took me a while, but it was so fun. I didn't rush. I just took my time. And that's, I think, why it turned out so great, in my opinion. That sounds so cocky. But yeah, I like it. I've never built a Tudor house before, ever, in The Sims, because it's personally not a house type that I like. I really don't like that style. But I thought, well, why not push my comfort zone a little bit and just build something I wouldn't normally build. So yeah, I went for this. And I think it all started when I decided to build on a community lot space in the middle of Windenburg. So you can see we're building in the middle of the town square kind of area. And this is where the library is. So, well, I think it is. Yeah. So I just knocked it down and decided to build my own historic building with this very modern extension that you can see on the right. So it's got a little bit of a story to it. It's obviously being maintained and looked after and preserved and in its original glory, and it definitely is still beautiful. Even though it's not my type of house, I still appreciate it for what it is, and I do like the modern extension. It's two different worlds colliding, you might say. But anyway, I think the ivy that I'm adding now, especially the red color, really makes the house pop. I think it just looks so nice contrasted with the black and white wallpaper, or the wall, the columns filled with mortar or something. I don't remember from my history lessons at school how they built Tudor houses. Do you remember, did you ever study the Tudors in school? I mean, if you're British, you probably did. I just remember, obviously Henry VIII and all his wives, and I remember the Tudor Rose and things like that, but it just seems so boring to me. I guess that's why I don't like the houses. They're just really, if you've ever been in one, they're really, they're really tall and narrow and creaky, and it was the kind of thing that you'd have to do for a school trip. They drag you to one, and I don't know why I don't like them, but I guess it's just the very traditional English style that it just bores me because I'm used to it, and I prefer things that are new and different and exotic. That must be why. But maybe you're from somewhere else and this is exotic to you, so I hope you like it. So I finally got the floor plan figured out here. I skip a lot, by the way. Don't think that it took me 2 seconds to figure it out, because it did not. I am always so bad at doing the floor plans. In my opinion, I'm still getting there. I mean, this is just a kind of a basic boxy kind of shape anyway, so it was a bit easier, but yeah. But yeah, look at that ivy. I love it. And the kind of path that I'm putting in now is really nice too. I'm trying to use things that I never normally use because I'm doing a house I would never normally build. So I'm using terrain tool kind of swatches that I'd never use, those flowers that I'd never use, but I love them in that swatch. They pick out the red detail from the walls, and then they contrast really well with the green. Since they're opposite on the color wheel, it looks really nice. And yeah, I like the kind of climbing ivy as well here. So yeah, and I remembered everything. I remembered mailbox, bin, I think that's all I usually forget, but so yeah, I polished off the build off camera afterwards, so I didn't have the pressure of filming it because it was already 3 hours of footage. So definitely stick around for the screenshots. I highly recommend it, even if you want to be cheeky and just fast forward straight to them. maybe I'll forgive you, I don't know. But they are, there's some really good screenshots, and the rooms, the upstairs bedrooms and stuff that you'll see, so definitely check them out, because the footage would have been so long if I'd have filmed all of it. So you'll get to watch me build the ground floor, and you'll see the color scheme kind of take effect, and you'll see how one room, I go from one room to the next using the ideas that I've just used. So the colors kind of flow through, I think, or at least I hope. So yeah, I decided, like I always do, to kind of create a family in my head, or a sim that would live here, so that I could explain why things are like they are. So I thought maybe it would be a fancy kind of rich couple. Now, one of them would be a historian, like a local historian, or somebody who's really into old houses and who would really appreciate this site for what it is. And then maybe I thought maybe the wife, the historian's wife, would be the one who loves all the decor and like just wanted to furnish it. Obviously they could be the other way around. Doesn't have to be the typical female who takes over the decorating. That's not me at all. But I kind of imagined it that way because it's kind of got a feminine touch throughout the house. It's definitely not girly, but it has got feminine touches here and there because it's just very well decorated. So I imagined maybe the sim would have brought in a decorator and would have completely kitted out the whole house. There's no expense spared. It's not a large house, but it is definitely spacious, and everything is matching, and everything is like, every room is well furnished, even the guest room that's not even used. It's really nice. So yeah, I like how it turned out, and I think it's not what you'd maybe expect for the inside of this house, but it still does have the odd kind of pieces that like bring it back to that Tudor theme, without it looking too traditional and boring and using just base game stuff. No offense, but yeah, I wanted to mix it up. So anyway, yeah, I've used this gorgeous mahogany kind of flooring throughout, and I've used it all the way through, but I've kind of sectioned off in different rooms with carpet and tiles and stuff. So you can see here the kitchen is being built now. And yeah, I kind of wanted to use swatches I'd never used. So I don't ever really use these Parenthood kitchen tile thingies. So I thought, let's pick out one where the colors match, or one of the colors from the tiles matches the walls. So it kind of coordinates really well. Yeah, like I said, it's not too feminine. It's got a lot of black and metallic details as well. So I think it's really nicely balanced. But I think a good indicator for me, when I know I've built a decent house, is when I want to play in it straight away. So I, straight away after building this, actually I didn't even finish. I moved in a household first, then I made them and everything, and then I finished furnishing. That's how much I wanted to play in it, like a little girl with her Barbie dolls or something. I just couldn't wait to play, and that's how I think I know that I've built something that's pretty decent and that maybe other people would enjoy. So that's why I thought, good job, I started to film, and I really hope you like it too. Maybe let me know in the comments if you're going to use it, or if it's as like a house you could imagine playing in or something. I don't know, just let me know, please. I'd love to hear from you. And by the way, if you do want to download it, it's already up on my gallery. I put it up before I filmed before I recorded this, because I couldn't wait and I wanted to share it with the gallery. So it's under my ID, which is Tamitou. So it's Tamitou, exactly like my YouTube, and you can find it there. And I also uploaded the rooms separately so that you get a bit of a look inside. And if you just wanted to download one room, or like get an idea from one of the rooms, you can just take one, or you can just take the whole house. So obviously, depending on the packs you might not have as well, you might not want to have all of it. But yeah, you can have this little Tudor house for yourself. So yeah, we're just kind of kitting out the kitchen right now, adding the little bits and bobs that I like to add on the counters just to make it look lived in and equipped, you might say. So yeah, I think my favorite room in this house is actually this room now, so the dining room. That was really good timing, gosh. Um, I didn't plan that at all. Is the dining room because I don't know, I like this pewter color of these chairs. You know, the vintage stuff back chairs. I think it's like a pewter, I think you'd call it that, or like a mink color. I end up using it throughout the house. Now the wall, like the wall in the kitchen that you can see right now, I think that's a similar color. It's like a purpley browny color. It's one of those colors that's hard to give it a name. And to me, these colors that I've used on the wall look mostly purple instead of brown. They have like a blue to them. I don't know, you might see it differently, or maybe I'm just crazy, but that's kind of what I saw when I use them. So I like the green and the purple together. It's very calm and very classy, and it works with the black lines everywhere and then the silver as well. So I used contrasting chairs. So I've used these two very much older, more traditional chairs at the two ends, and then these other upholstered ones in the middle. So I like that. It's very I think it's very elegant. It's something you might see in like a home magazine or something. And here's where I started framing the house with these lights. So whenever there was a big blank wall space and I didn't want to over clutter it with art, I would just use these dine out wall lights and size them down a lot because they're huge. And I use those to frame most of the paintings. It just looks a lot more elegant and a lot more like each piece is expensive, or you know, like an original painting or something like that. And yeah, I like that. And along with chandeliers hanging from nearly every room, it really adds that glamorous feeling without it being like a tacky glamour, in my opinion. So yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, the little reception room. I will go back to that, I think. Yeah, so I've put a massive fireplace in there. I thought the house definitely needed a fireplace, but it's not really a room that's really going to be used. It's kind of a reception room, in that it's just got a couple of comfy chairs that are probably never used, and a little table and a rug and a lamp and the grandfather clock in the corner. And it's a beautiful room, but it is just more like an unused section of the house, which is a nice luxury to have, let's be honest. I mean, it's pretty, and I love the this crazy wallpaper that's just on one wall. It's very risque, but I think it works, and the white border on the fireplace really helps it work, I think. So yeah. And I also use that lamp in the corner, which is, I really think it's ugly, like personally, but I think it worked for this house just because of the traditional kind of theme we've got. Oh, I've just realized this is the room. So this is the use of this room. This is the room that you sit in when like you're a parent and you're waiting for your teenage kid to come home and it's like way past their bedtime, and you sit there with the lights off, and then when they sneak in to come up to bed and they think you're asleep, that is the room where you'll be sat on those chairs and you'll turn on the light and you'll be like, where have you been? That is what that room's for. And knowing the family that live here now, that's probably something that's going to happen. So it's like a strategically placed space to sit and wait. Anyway, this is the upstairs, like informal lounge room. So I decided I had this other space up here, and you could use it for a bedroom, but then there's no place where the TV is, so I've put this as like the TV room, but it's, you know, it's not something you'd want your guests to see, so it's upstairs. It's just got a couple of little two little end tables as coffee tables, and I love these really nice like muted blue sofas, and then this rug as well, which again I don't ever use. It works really well with the colors, and the few bits of red in that rug we're gonna complement with some like the wine wall art, so that will bring the red through onto the walls. So yeah, that looks nice in the end. I think you'll see it better in the screenshots. And I realized as well this jungle adventure chair actually fits really well. It doesn't look too jungly in that swatch, and it's just a nice pop with the cushion that's on it. Oh, so this bench or pew or whatever, it's I decided that this little corner would be so we're upstairs now on the landing. This little corner would be sort of a historical little area of the house where this I decided this bench would have been an original piece that was found in the house or that was being kept for generations, and it's very old, and it's the kind of bench you tell your kids not to sit on there, like it's old and you don't touch it. And above it I kind of put this painting or this wall art that looks like a blueprint, and I figured that would be like an original blueprint or something of the house, just to kind of emphasize the fact that the Sims appreciate the history of the house and that they've really taken care of it, and that it was quite expensive. It's kind of also like a point that you'd show off to people who come over. So yeah, I thought that was a nice touch. But yeah, now we're moving down to the very modern section. I mean, it's modern in the fact, like, the exterior is modern, but the interior is kind of keeping to the same theme. It's a bit more informal because we've got this wicker furniture and these big windows at the back that have these little like window seats, but then the front windows are very modern. They're the most modern on the whole house, whereas other sections of the house have like windows that have been replaced and others have the original. So there's stages that you can see the house has gone through. Yeah, so I'm just kind of figuring out here. It took me a little while to figure out the theme of this room or the colors I wanted to go for, because a lot of it is just windows. There's not really much color on the walls, so I did just end up putting little figurines and stuff everywhere and plants, and it was just figuring out the right ones and the kind of curtains that I wanted, because I figured you'd want to be able to pull those closed. But yeah, that is pretty much the house coming together. Now I know you've not seen the bedrooms, but like I said, stick around and I promise you will enjoy them. And yeah, I will see you very soon, because we're wrapping up now if you can't tell. So the music is going to fade in any second now. There we go. Yeah, okay, so I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.